How the seniors got their names. A long time ago, Peter and Mary sat at their kitchen table. They were talking about what to name the new baby who would be born soon. Peter said, "In Italy, names are chosen carefully." Mary agreed, "Yes, names carry the people we love." Peter's sister told him the tradition. "In Italy," she said, "the first son and daughter are named after the father's parents. The next are named after the mother's parents, then the grandparents, then saints and other relatives." That is how the names keep going and the people are remembered. Mary said, "Our baby will be named either Vincenzo or Angelo Rosa." Peter smiled. "Yes," he said, "that is how it has always been." The first baby was a girl. Mary looked down at her and whispered, "Your name is Rosanella, after your nonna." Peter smiled and said to the baby, "Do you like that name, Rosie?" The baby blinked. Mary laughed. "I think she does." And that's how Rosie got her name. Soon a little boy was born. Peter smiled proudly. "My father's name is Vincenzo," he said. Mary said, "When I came to America with my papa, I prayed to Saint James Giacomo to keep me safe. I promised that if I had a baby boy, I would name him Giacomo." Peter nodded. "Then he will be called Vincenzo Giacomo." In English, people say James Vincent. One name for Peter's father, one name for Mary's promise, and that's how James Vincent got his name. And then another baby boy was born. Mary smiled. "It's my turn," she said. "My father's name is Crescenzo." Mary had come to America with her father. He still lived nearby. He was the only grandparent the children had in America. The rest were still in Italy. At the baptism, the priest asked, "What is the child called?" Mary answered proudly, "Crescenzo." Back at home, Grandpa Crescenzo held the baby and smiled. "We live in America now," he said. "Call him Cristo." And over time, Cristo became Christy. And that's how Christy got his name. Then Mary had another baby girl. Peter looked at Mary gently. "My mother's name was Maria," she said softly. They both remembered the tiny baby who had stayed only one day. Rosie stood close to the bed. "Will this baby have the same name?" she whispered. Mary smiled and held the new baby close. "Yes," she said, "we will keep the name." She looked down at her daughter and said, "Your name is Maria, after your nonna and after your sister in heaven." Peter said, "The name stays in our family." And that's how Mary got her name. And then another baby boy was born. "What is his name?" Christy asked. Peter smiled. "In Italy, saints are very important," he said. "Saint Antonio was kind and faithful." Mary nodded. "So we will name him Antonio," she added. At the baptism, When the priest asked Peter and Mary what was the baby's name, little Mary, who was 3, said proudly, "His name is Tony." Everyone laughed. Mary told the priest, "Antonio, after San Antonio." Peter nodded. The priest blessed the baby, and that's how Tony got his name. Another new baby girl was born. Mary sat at the table feeding the new baby. Rosie stood beside her. She was 9 now, but she still remembered. "I remember our Philomena," Rosie said. "She was 1 and I was 7. I used to hold her hand." Mary nodded. "Yes," she said, "you did." Rosie looked down at the baby. "Is this baby named Philomena for her?" "Yes," said Mary. Christy made a face. "It's too long," he said. "I'm calling her Effie." Rosie crossed her arms. "That's not her name." Peter laughed. Mary and Peter called her Philomena. The rest of the family called her Effie. And when she went to school, the teachers called her Florence. 3 names, 1 girl. And that's how Effie got her name. One night, Mary told the children a story about Italy. "In my village," she said, "there was a special feast in August. We remembered Madonna Assunta, Our Lady who was taken to heaven. The bells rang, there were flowers, and a big parade." "That sounds beautiful," little Mary whispered. Months later, a new baby girl was born. Little Mary said, "Mama, she's beautiful like the Madonna Assunta." "Yes, we will name her Assunta," Mama said. Peter said, "We are Americans now. She will have an American name too." At school, she was Sue, sometimes Susie. But when her brothers remembered their little bits of Italian, they would tease her. "Sunda!" Susie would pretend to be angry, but she always smiled. And that's how Susie got her name. When another baby boy was born, Peter thought hard. "Flaviano," he said slowly. Mary looked at him. "Your brother," she said. Peter nodded. "And my sister's husband." He paused. "And my mother's father." "That name runs through your whole family," Mary said. So they named the baby Flaviano. But in America, everyone called him Frank. "Flaviano," Mary said proudly. "Frank," the children answered. Peter laughed. "He can be both." And that's how Frank got his name. By now, the house was very noisy. When the next baby boy arrived, Peter laughed. "What name have we not used yet?" Mary smiled. "You have used your whole family," she said. Peter leaned closer. "What about yours?" Mary looked across the room at the old tapestry hanging on the wall, the Holy Family they had brought from Italy. "My middle name is Giuseppina," she said. She pointed to the figure in the tapestry. "And Giuseppe was Jesus' father on earth." Peter said, "It is a strong and steady name." He looked down at the baby. "Giuseppe." Later, you could hear lots of people calling, "Giuseppe! Giuseppe!" Before long, it became Joseph, then Joe, and that's how Joe got his name. More years passed. The house was very full. Then, on a cold morning, just after Christmas, another baby boy was born. It is January 6th, Mary said softly. A holy day, Peter said. He looked down at the baby. This one needs a strong name, he said. Pasquale. Peter explained it to the older children. Pasquale means Easter in Italy. It is the feast of new life. A new life in our home. The name was perfect. In America, everyone called him Pat. That was easier. But Peter would call him Pasquale. Years later, when Pasquale stood at the altar to be married, the priest began, "Do you, Pasquale?" Gail turned her head. "Who's Pasquale?" she whispered. The family tried very hard not to laugh. Pat just smiled. And that's how Pat got his name. The babies born in that little house all had Italian names with a special meaning. Rosanella, Vincenzo Giacomo, Crescenzo, Maria, Antonio, Filomena, Assunta, Flaviano, Giuseppe, and Pasquale. Some were shortened, some became English, some became nicknames. The adults that left that house were known as Rosie, Jimmy, Christy, Mary, Tony, Effie, Susie, Frank, Joe, and Pat. And that's how the seniors got their names. Hi, my name is Sophia. My name is Gino. We are two of Peter and Mary's great-great-grandchildren. Our names continue the Italian tradition. Behind us hangs a photograph of Peter and Mary. Their story lives on in us. Names are very important. When someone hears a name, they don't think about the word. They think of a person with that name. We were all given our names for a reason. How did you get your name?